Hey guys, welcome back. Let's get started. Helps if I hit the right buttons, doesn't it? Alright, so let's take stock. We're in the process of getting our retracting bridge up. Clearly need to seal up that door on the far side. Make that into a hospital officially so our dwarves know where to take all those wounded from the Etten. To be fair, it looks like just two of them. Just two, I think. Had to check because we have mine shafts on the lower floor that we didn't intersect with this garbage dump. Need to get that dug so our garbage has some place to go.
Don't tell Dwarf, but all the fish are gone.
Hunter's killing giant squirrels, that's okay. As our miner gets here and does his job, we can designate this for garbage dump and get rid of those Etten parts that are laying in our... Hey! I don't remember us doing any digging, so I'm guessing our magmanaut must have finally floated down far enough to make contact. Come down right around in here, so yeah, presumably just found out about the semi-molten rock there. Good job. We're down, what, 180 levels? Yeah. Wouldn't want to dig down to the bottom of the magma sea on this one. That's deep. Deep! Way deeper than I'd want to carry my stuff down. I mean, theoretically, you could send stuff down mine carts or something, but that's a long way. Stuff would take a long time to get down and an even longer time to get back up. That's the kind of fortress height where you start to think about having Sherpas who carry things between certain levels of your fortress in a sort of chain of stockpiles where they carry certain things into stockpiles that are chained to go up and certain things into stockpiles that are chained to go down. And they live at periodic levels in your fortress because it's too far for them to walk to their bedroom if it's 120 levels above them every day. Oh, you gotta love a bridge over troubled magma now. Our magmanaut, you missed it, see? Now we think our magmanaut finally discovered the magma sea after we dropped him. At least we think that's what it is. Doesn't look like the squirrel hit the water, hit the magma. So that's our bet. That's our best guess. We haven't done anything that would cause it digging down, I don't think. Let's check our central staircase here and make sure we didn't designate a further down. Oh, wait, we did. Did we finally? No, this is where we cut it off, isn't it? Yeah, because these are up downs, and then these are just ups. So this is cut off, and we didn't go any deeper than that. So that's the last cavern. The only thing we've done that would discover the magma sea is delivering our vampire unto justice. 'Cause, 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 'cause Oh, I know what we need to make. More than anything right now, if we can get it. Let's see. That's a furnace. I don't care about that. That's a kiln. I don't care about that. Does nobody have furnace operation here? Let's double check. We need to make sure we've got enough people with furnace operation to get the furnace. Oh, we've got a migration wave we never sorted. See, that Etten got us all kind of distracted. So we've got giant animals running around. It wouldn't hurt to have a few people returning things for meat. So let's go ahead and do that. We probably should have done it early last year. We didn't really have anybody skilled at it at the time. We got one guy who was hunting, and well, we used him as mining. That would have been it. These two just arrived. Okay. Make sure all our furnaces are turned on. Don't really have anybody good at clothes making, so spinning and shearing is as good as they're going to get for that. So let's go there. Okay, now we should have a few more of these furnaces get set up. That's what we want. See, and I cannot for a moment believe we're doing anything to mine that far down. There's nothing we're doing anywhere near here. So that's got to be our magma knot touching down over there near the magma sea. It's the only thing I can think of. Where's old Nish? Did Nish finally vanish from the list here? Yeah, gone from the list now. I don't know. So I can't even say it's our magma dweller touching down because they'd be in the list still if they were still technically alive, and it seems like it's been an awful long time. Oh, there they are. Deceased. Can't zoom to them, of course, because they hit the semi-molten rock and vanished. If you really wanted to get creative, of course, you could dispose of your refuse in the volcano. Doing it this way allows us, doing it the way we're going to do it allows us to potentially retrieve it if we need to later for any given reason. Gotta make sure you go to garbage dump, not gather or pick fruit. Okay. Oh, they're pigtails. I thought they might have been withered. Sorry, for a moment I didn't recognize them in the tile set. That's the danger between moving between tile sets you're not familiar with. So you might lose track of what something is and have to look for a moment. If ASCII didn't give me such a headache to look at it, I'd try it. Well, we know the Etten got some punches in there somewhere, but what is he doing at the bottom of the refuse pit? There's nothing down there. Everything that falls down there is forbidden. There's no reason for him to go down there. What the fuck is he doing at the bottom of the goddamn refuse hole? To get hit with a fucking tooth from above. That's what's going to do him in. He climbed down the garbage chute and got hit with an Etten tooth. Moron. Oi. ASCII. Clinidev, ASCII gives me a headache. Plain text. For some reason, trying to stare at text, my brain is trying to form it into sentences and make words of it, and it's a soup moving around, and it just gives me a headache. Not in the literal sense, but in the I can't believe I can try to read that sense. I've never played any of the old terminal games, Angband or Moria or NetHack. I've never played them with the original ASCII character sets. So let's see. Got our farming. We didn't get our surface crops yet. Still need to get the door on. Did we get rid of all the bits and bobs that need to be removed over here? Clothing from whatever dwarf got pummeled. Somebody's foot. And it's his with a dwarf foot, so that needs to be buried with its occupant. Don't think any other parts got that far away, so I think we should be okay elsewise. Let's see what it says. Honeybee remains we don't care about. Okay, so let's go check out our corpse farm here. Make sure that we either have more room or... Yeah, see, we need more corpses. Corpse burial locations. Love, love, love planning mode, by the way. Just say, oh, I want to have this stuff there, and once it's made, it'll immediately be slotted into sockets for us. Done. In the meantime, we'll wait on them to bring the coffins that we do have up here and get them ready so we can make sure we've got everybody buried who needs to be. Now I thought, yeah, see, he pummeled this dude and dropped him in a hole. You fucking Ned. That's one of our guys right there. One of the guys that just arrived, I think. I don't think he got anybody else, but he got that guy, and then he got the ones that down below when we actually stopped to fight him. This guy held him up long enough for everybody else to get him assembled. And I think he's only marked as a recruit in here, which is kind of hilarious in a sense, but not really. Our recruit here. Is the one who got the first. Oops. Is the one who got the first blows in. No announcements. That figures. But we don't have a good way currently to get him out of there. Since the well is full, here's what we'll do. We will cheat. Our well has more than enough water in it for all our purposes, for all intents and purposes, for all time memorial. In fact, we can make this into a new fishing area and see if our fishermen can actually catch anything in there. Fishing area and water source. And I don't really care if they actually catch anything, but there we go. Since we know we have all the water we really need for now, we can roll the dice a little bit. Seal this up, crack it open, drain it out, bury our guy, wall it up, and we're good to go again. Wait for this to refill again. We don't technically need all this water. We may see about using this this catch pocket here for another tunnel, if you will, another purpose. If we drain this water off into catch basins each time, you could do something where you could do anything. Theoretically, a water reactor, maybe. Since we don't have an aquifer here to supply our drinking water, we just had to do something to get that. But now that we've got it, I mean, we're never going to drink this much water. If our dwarves go through this much water, we've done something seriously wrong. That'll get us access to our corpseling there. Get him all buried up. Okay, so let's do that. I like that idea. Right there seems about the best place to do this. It's relatively close to where we're going to come in. It's going to give our miner an easy escape out down the ramp. And it's a nice orthogonal exit, so it will drain quickly and not trickle. Now, once this gets low enough, we should be able to have somebody come along and grab his corpse. Which is not forbidden, as is none of his gear, so they'll come along and collect that as well. But it'll have to get down low enough that they're not swimming in it to do it. And then we realized downstream is going to flood into our fortress a little bit. We probably don't care, given the amount of spread. I don't think it will be a big deal, but let's see what happens. Huh. That vampire we tossed into the volcano has been missing for a week. I wonder what happened. So we'll get a little bit of mud down here when the water falls in on the apiary area. But given the amount of spread, I don't think it's going to be a big deal to get our miner out of there. Assuming, of course, we do have enough coffins. Let's double check. Make sure we haven't filled them all again. Filled. Oh, wait. Mom has a spot. We just need to get him in it. There we go. Somebody comes along and collects him. Gotta wait for this to drain far enough that we can actually build over it, which is its own kind of problem, actually. don't really care what they build it out of. It doesn't matter as long as we get the wall up. Now, they'll suspend this job repeatedly every time the wall is at 2 depth. Well, they got it done well before it got to 1 depth, or before it got back up to 2. So any water in here will now be retained. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is not actually enough water in here to prevent any evaporation that may occur. So we might lose more water out of here if we don't get some rain soon. There's nothing we can really do about that one way or the other. So what are you going to do? A little bit of blood from the guys who got pummeled on the edge of the drink here. That's probably where that Etton's mitten or sock that he was trying to beat people with came from. That'll be fine. Like I said, I'm not worried about the flooding. This is going to be about as bad as it gets right there. This is all one, so we're down to evaporation level all the way across now. It'll just evaporate off. It'll be like it was never there. That looks like miasma, though. Fuck it. Foot in the hole. If they're not going to find a coffin for it, it's going in the hole. Getting rid of it. Rotten body parts do not remain here. If you won't bury that foot, dump it. What are they carrying and why? Okay, so, well, I guess while we're here and we're watching these dwarves carry all this stuff to this stockpile we probably should be getting rid of anyway. Let's see. Oops, we do want to install no outdoor access. You lie. That's outdoor right there. Demonstrated that earlier. Outside light above ground. That's outdoor access right there. Adjacent to... I think that's what the wiki tells us. Let's look. Let's see here. For hives to produce honey, they must be built adjacent to or on an above ground tile. Well, every one of those tiles is adjacent to an above ground tile. Huh. No outdoor access, it says, and yet adjacent to, outside light, and above ground. Interesting. I wonder. There's a thought. I wonder if we remove this inner row here for briefly to make this subterranean tile suddenly above ground. It'll say inside light above ground, but it will say above ground and no longer be subterranean. Whether that will fix our problem here. No, it's all of them. They're all inside dark subterranean on the hive tiles. But the adjacents are all outside light above ground. All this ring of fortifications is all outside light above ground. I built it that way intentionally. In fact, we originally built bridges over them, thinking we could get away with putting bridges on them to keep them technically above ground, but that doesn't work. It treats them as inside if you do bridges. So Tony was smart enough to see me coming on that one. But the fortifications are clearly marked outside light above ground, but I'm guessing it's because they're not passable, and yet the bees fly through them. I'm sure. Being vermin, fortification should not stop bees by any means. So let's assume that's our gimmick. Let's see if we can fix it. Throw up a quick wooden log floor here real quick to allow people to get across, and we'll take out a row of this floor and see if that goes away. Our miners will be along shortly, and we'll see if that fixes our problem. Double check there's no downstairs here that need to be worried about with the logs falling or the like. Nope, we're good to go. If they fall, they fall. Won't hurt anybody below them. Okay. Oops. Helps if I don't put it on pause. Dryer won't matter. I'm checking the ones up here. They're away from the water. It's not the water or the mud. It's got nothing to do with that. The bees are very clearly flying through the fortifications. They have no problem passing through those tiles. You know, look, they're buzzing around happily, inside, outside, upside down. So, you know, on screen to the player, this looks like fortifications don't block the bees, and yet the outside access, it says, is a problem. So now we've cut this off. So now the hives have been exposed to light and are currently outside and above ground. See, outside light above ground, as opposed to inside dark subterranean. Now, it should be the case, if I then build over this, that they are inside light above ground. And that may fix our problem. But we'll just throw up another quick wooden floor here to floor them back over and see if that fixes our problem. If it does, great, problem solved. If it doesn't, then we'll know pretty quick because these first couple will wall up before the others. Okay, so that's inside light and above ground as opposed to inside dark subterranean or outside light above ground. So see, we're playing with the traits here a little bit, yeah. Now, it's not subterranean anymore. So, let's hit a Q and take a look and see what that does. Do you like that now? See, now it says it has outdoor access, despite the fact that it is in fact floored over. And I'm pretty sure that will remain even if this section gets floored over. We need to double check that. We need to make sure that all the adjacents except the fortifications are floored over, that we still see that condition occur. So this is something's gotta fix something over here.
Stock up your goods to keep you fed.
Okay, let them get rid of that stuff, because that's a problem. We've got a bunch of stuff that apparently we thought we had Tanner's workshops up, but apparently we don't. Sworn that those were Tanner's workshops, and they should have had no problem. Oh, I know what the problem is. They've only got a couple butchers, don't we? Yeah, only 2 kitchen workers. Let's fix that. Much better. Now we'll see some progress on that whole tanning situation in future. And in the meantime, hopefully we'll get enough people to come along and dump the piles of crap to keep it from stinking the fortress up any worse than it already has. Okay. So, not ideal, but workable. Now, let's finish up. We'll need to do another... Actually, no, we don't. Now, this works because when I built the columns, I put them very much inside the circle, so I don't have to worry about there being a section of ceiling above this that's not supported. Everything here is supported by those columns internally. So we can cut the edge off of this. No, there's no supports. This bridge isn't required for support purposes or anything, except that we want to make sure we have a way for our dwarves to get in and out. So we want to make sure they can cross this diagonal until they finish all this up, and then once they've walled or floored this back up, we'll take out this little section here. Actually, in hindsight, we want to make sure that they don't do this square and that square before this square, because then that would collapse. So one section, one section, one section, but no diagonals that might trim something out. Gotta watch. If a dwarf can cause a cave-in, then he will, by definition. I like my fun as much as the next guy, but I generally like it to sneak up on me and not be generated because I was a moron. Need crutch. Okay, so if we're not getting crutches, that's because our carpenter isn't doing them. Wouldn't hurt to have a few splints too while we're at it. And as before, there's no particular reason why it's ash logs other than they're close and convenient. So, now that we've solved our apiary woes, dealt with our miasma problem, created a garbage dump, got our mining underway, excavated some hematite, let's check on our stocks here, good on food and drinks. Yep. We need to get our wood furnaces making some coal for the eventual steel process, but not yet. Need to check on our furniture production. Wouldn't hurt to have our jewelers up and running, and this is going to be a furniture stockpile. And it's that large because furniture can't be stored in bins, so all the beds and bins and whatnot that are loose will end up here, and it will give me an idea of how much loose furniture I have in my fortress, which will be quite a bunch. We tend to run a little high on items we don't necessarily need but might want to throw in our fortress. Our fortress has a storage room. It would have quite a spider problem in the real world. This would be one of those rooms with furniture that hasn't been seen or used or touched in 30 years because it's been sitting in there in the eventuality that somebody might, allow more than 200 dwarves in the fortress at some point. Let's see what we need here. 10 bars. I really need to get a 10 bar. If I can do that, we can then make bismuth bronze. And if we can make bismuth bronze one time, then I can make coins. And at that point, it is on. We can make lots of bismuth bronze. Cancels butcher an animal. I don't know why. Hunter's been bringing them back, and you've been letting them rot in the stall there, basically. Let's see. Mandated the construction of certain goods. Need to check on that. We minted some iron coins. That's good. So now our iron is locked in. We can make more iron later. Okay, let's check on that mandate real fast. What's the mayor want? Oh, he forgot about it apparently, or got replaced. Well, so much for that. Okay, well, so I need a couple of offices for our guys, it looks like. Let's see here. Go ahead and get them started down here. Only now does it occur to me I didn't actually make these walls wide enough. I went on and lectured earlier about bedrooms needing to be 2 tiles away from the hallway. For the same purpose, you should do the same thing with these offices. Now, in this case, it's not critical. The manager and the record keeper don't demand super high quality offices, so it doesn't really hurt you that badly. But we do want to leave ourselves that additional space for our future office holders, the captain of the guard and the mayor, because they require slightly better offices. So again, we move up to 2 tiles between those rooms. And 5x5 gives you plenty of room, not only for smoothing and engraving, but also for potentially throwing down traps. You can actually make a room that's 5x5 really valuable really quickly if you could do things like slot in artifacts or highly valuable masterwork objects of some kind. Weapon traps, for example, can be insanely valuable based on the value of the high quality weapons therein. Go ahead and put a little nice little entry room there, I guess. Why not? And even though that breaks the rule again, I don't care. We're going to do it. So there. Ha! Okay, so that'll give us room for our mayor and our captain of the guard. Let's get our miner a chance to dig those out. Then once that's done, we can get those underway. Looks like somebody passed out here on the floor. Let's go check and see. Did we start bedrooms? We did, but we didn't actually designate them. Give me a second here, and I'll get started on that. should allow us to get a bunch of bedrooms built pretty quickly. Let's give these guys a chance to start moving some stuff in. Okay, at this point our front door is built. So now we need to hook this up to a lever so we can close it by pulling the bridge back and making there be no entrance. And we need to seal off this little staircase over here to prevent any further access from this end of the fortress. Now before we do that, let's go ahead and finish off the apiary problem. There we go. A clever marmoset might do something like build an outer castle wall, line the inner wall with hives, and then put a floor over the top of the hives, put fortifications in front of the hives, and as long as you have a path into the area where the hives are, you could still get to them and access them, and you'd be behind the fortifications. The fortifications would act as outside light areas and allow the hives to be working above ground. That's interesting. I'm going to think about that for a bit, for maybe for our next one. Miners and masons, miners and masons. We're going to need so many miners and masons. Or alternatively, a sandy volcano. I'd take a good sandy volcano.
I see it all now. It's so beautiful. The dwarf has claimed a workshop.
Yeah, is he getting to work? Let's find out. Let's watch him for a second here. See if he actually does something useful for us here. Okay, he's off and running. Wait for our miners to get here. This is going to be the last caravan I'm going to try and service in this area. I need to get these chunks dug out and replaced, this staircase removed, or this floor removed, and then we can floor this over, remove this, and we're done up here. Everything is downstairs again. Apparently every miner in the fortress has decided that now is a perfect time to take a holiday. What the hell, guys? Come on, seriously. 3 tiles. 3 little tiles. Okay. Since they're settling up, let's... I don't think we can do it yet. Will ya? Tell me. Oh, cool. Let's go ahead and get our goods moved. We still don't have much beyond crafts and mugs, so let's just go ahead and wheel those out. Hopefully at some point our miners will come along and take care of this, you know. Did create a location. I need to go back and look, see if we have locations for all the new gods too. That reminds me. Cool. A super special artifact coffin. So hang on, who is that? That's Ubul Vukar Itab. Okay, Ubul. I don't know if we can designate that as a tomb or not, but we're going to try. We're going to designate this as like a one square tool and assign the tomb to its maker. We're going to give them their own coffin. I figure if you're so fixated that your artifact is a coffin, the least is you deserve to be buried in the place you built. So now we have this andesite coffin, which is really this artifact coffin here. And I've assigned it to be occupied only by its original constructor. So they get a tomb of their own, a one squared tomb with an artifact in it. It's probably the most valuable tomb that's ever going to be built in the fortress, but we'll see. But I think that was a possession, so no skill gain there, unfortunately. Wah, 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 wah. Let's see if maybe these guys have some tin bars. Tin bars would be awesome. If they had tin bars on them, that we can buy those and then immediately start making that bronze I keep telling you about. Do not have a broker. Since when? I thought we had one earlier. Oh, he must have died. Oh, that's a shame. Well, let's see. You're a smith, and you're an engraver, and you're a carpenter, farmer, doctor. Person we were in the process of assigning and don't remember what we were assigning them to. Oh, that's good. Because they weren't really bridge bait. We only had the one vampire. There's going to be two of them because we... Yep, there's the other one right there because we were setting them to do something and I forgot what that one something was. Go back to the therapist. Joe! Clothiers. That's what we were making them. Clothiers. Kind of doubling up for them on the tanning, leatherworking, bone carving. We've got that for our kitchen workers as well. But the reality is that those guys have other tasks and they won't be able to devote full time to it. So while it's useful for them to have a few crafting skills and that they will generally be able to handle that, the clothiers can dip into it whenever they need to. We'll have them making leather goods as well. It won't hurt to spread it out a little bit, especially once we start grinding up the animals for fun. Okay, I see a lot of needs over here in terms of the prey categories. That reminds me, we still need to check through and make sure we don't have new groups that have come in with new religions we have to take care of. So I think the last one we got was the silvery, but I'll check on team. Let's see. So we need to see if team got one. Okay, so details. We'll go back through the tab or through the item, through the list here. This is the one we just made for our guild hall and our minor hall, and the last one we did was the silvery. So we have to pick up with team. Okay, so let's assign this a location, add a location, call it a temple, devote it to team. Okay. Now we'll do the same thing again for each one of the gods and denominations below there. Give me a second, this is going to take me a moment. Okay, let's take a quick look there. Hang on a second. Location. Details. Gotta go down at least one. Details. So, Thram, and then there was the Doctrine, and Toril, and Vukar, as the Diamond, and Amug, and Omli, and Setrub, and Enthup, and Team, and then we're back to our group. Okay, so we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Good. Don't need to actually add one there. We're good. All the way back out. All the new religions have their problem taken care of. Okay. Write down civilization info. What do we want? Well, we want leather. Because we don't have any. And it'll take us a minute to get our leather industry properly running. So let's just go ahead and get all the, let's call them standard animal leathers for us, including blue peafowl in this case. Dogs and cats and mules and donkeys and the stuff you'd see around your average, imaginary farm. Because we can just stack up those kinds. Dwarf Fortress will happily keep track of every other kind of leather, but we want cheap leather, so we want the common ones. And we want leather ideally that will stack with the leather we're going to produce, which will generally fall into these categories, although we're going a little broader than what we have for ourselves. Wouldn't hurt to ask for a little cave spider silk cloth. Don't worry, they'll bring plenty. We'll take all the metal bars you can bring. We'll buy as many as we can get our hands on. Ditto your cut gems. We'll see if we can't afford some of your instruments. We don't really need these, so I'm not going all in on them. A couple of them would be nice, see what's cheap, what can we afford, what's hard to make maybe. But we'll need to be setting up instrument production here shortly for our tavern. As far as animals go, I want females of the things I'm going to be butchering lots of, and mules generally. Those are the things that I'm going to pull in, and I can butcher off the excess or use them for starting up my animal industry. Drinks, cheeses, powders. Okay, under powders, gypsum plaster is always nice to have for casts for your dwarves if they get injured. Of course, we don't want them to get injured. We don't want to think that way, but at the same time, gypsum plaster is hard to come by on most sites. In fact, almost all of them. It's very rare that you're going to find one that has it. If you do, great. As far as I know, there's no way to make it yet. So having a bunch of it on hand that you can pull in and throw in the hospital and just have it when you need it is gravy. Under the extracts category, definitely milk. Any milk they bring, we can just buy for cheap, get the barrel, make it right into cheese. It all stacks into the food stockpiles. I don't think mog juice is useful for anything. I have to look. I'm so curious now. Mog juice. Is it extracted from mog hoppers? Okay, yeah. And it is the only obtainable product from fish extraction. Huh. Interesting. It's apparently literally a fish juice with a value of 50 dwarf bucks per unit, and extraction kills the fish. So mog juice is literally wrung out of fish. Okay, color me fascinated, but we don't really need any in our fortress. So we'll move on. Fish is nice. And for the record, these mog hoppers here are not the unprepared kind I suspect that you get your mog juice from. Mog hoppers here are probably the prepared eaten kind. Let's see, plants are useless to us here. I don't think there's any of those that are valuable to us. Oops, went down too far there. Sand is more expensive than, say, fire clay, but at the same time, it comes with a bag, and we don't have to make the bag. We can turn around, use the bag, or use the sand, make some glass stuff. We brought a glass maker with us to a place that doesn't have sand. Please, somebody smash me over the head with a 2x4, would you? But we can at least take advantage of the stuff we can bring in, and sand is light enough that they'll bring in enough bags that we can keep a ceramics worker or two busy. Clay, they'll only bring about 4 boulders a caravan, so it's really hard to sustain anything. Whereas with the sand, even if they only bring 4 sand and 4 white sand and 4 black sand and 4 red sand and 4 yellow sand, that's still a lot more sand than you're going to bring in clay. Clear glass and crystal glass are sometimes hard to come by, so it wouldn't hurt to have a few of those. It's like gems. We'll make green glass if we really need it. Potash and pearl ash are sometimes a pain to come by. We'll make our own charcoal. There's plenty of trees around to be harvested. Buckets, splints, crutches we'll make. Eggs we'll harvest. Bags, ropes, cloth we'll make. Wouldn't hurt to have a little sheep wool cloth. Thread, we could take whatever yarn you want, I don't care. Sheets, cups, mugs, goblets. Okay, so we're done. That's it. We're good. Now he'll say, okay, great, we're going to charge you an arm and a leg for everything we asked for. Great, yeah, we do that.
Well, at least it's not an explosion.
Boy, okay, and what he's going to offer us, he wants to buy. Let's see. Short swords, which we're probably not going to make. We could. Most of these things... Oh, goblets. Goblets would be nice. I don't know that goblets includes mugs. I think goblets is specifically glass goblets or metal goblets. I think metal makes mugs too, but I don't know that includes our mugs. But armor and tanned hides and footwear and splints, fish, ammunition, quivers, blocks, sheets, none of this stuff is stuff we'd export. Short swords, I'd rather use the metal for something else, either generating coins so we can turn around and cycle it, or in creating weapons and trap components that I could sell trap components far outvalue short swords, even if they're paying double-digit values for them. Double price value here is still not enough to make a short sword eclipse a serrated disc of the same quality. I don't think it's going to be so close as to be meaningless. Okay, so that's nice, but no, nothing there we really care about. Okay, so he's taking out eagles now too. Look at him go. All right, let's go downstairs to our magma forges real quick. Take a quick peek there and see if we're getting our furnaces built. Good. We are. Let's look at the job queue and make sure we're getting our smelt hematite jobs active. Yep. Looks good. Now, the dwarves doing these jobs in parallel will roar through your ore available. Once a group of haulers gets the fire in them to do all the smelting at once, and there's not another task to keep them busy,
We're here to help.
off they'll go. Here comes a load of migrants. They're immediately going to be added to the haulers, and suddenly we're going to have enough parallel labor that we're going to start adding it into the smelters at that point. Wow, and 3 of those guys are smiths. And not just, Midland smiths. 3 of those guys are fantastic smiths. Okay, so Dwarf Fortress hands me stuff like that. I smell vampire. Three legendary weaponsmiths arrive? What? We become the mountain home when I wasn't looking? Okay, so now we're setting up hives. These guys who didn't have any experience before now have some, so definitely some hives have been collected and set up. That's good. We've got bees running now. We'll deal with them more later, but for right now, we can just let them put stuff in hives. We'll come back to that down the road. Okay, I guess that's all we can really do at the moment. Labor-wise, I mean. All right. I need to double check how that's done and make sure I'm not misremembering. I think we made some pedestals, didn't we? Maybe we didn't. Let's see if maybe that fixes our problem there. Ooh, Hunter going to work on a wild boar. Right over here at the edge of the map. It's going to be hard to actually keep track of him if he's way over there. Hang on. practically standing over the top of him for those kill shots. Wow, look at him go. If he was only better with that crossbow. Well, he's bringing back the food. I can't complain. All right, since everybody's eating, I think we're doing good there. Let's see. We bring in... Yeah, I bet if we check our stock screen here, we're going to find the prepared meals are just roaring along. Okay. 830 prepared meals out of 829 others. So, yeah, somebody's got one in the hand, basically. All right, did we get these all floored back up? We did not. Could have sworn we just assigned a broker. Did I not actually do it? Shame on me. Really don't have anybody with the skills who isn't doing something else most of the time. This guy's going to end up being a damn... These smiths who came in are going to end up being vampires. I'm just calling it now. We'll send the ceramics worker. He's not going to have a lot else to do. But since he's captain of the guard, and really he's going to spend his time just doing broker operations for social benefit, chatting up in the tavern, training, and interrogating people, so putting him to work as the broker does sound like he's going to get some cross-train going on in there. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Let's take a look at our mayor, who has finally decided to ask us for something, and he wants rings, which we're going to make rings. That shouldn't be a problem. Let's go down. Are we on the right level? Yes, we are. Okay, make sure we have our broker assigned and requested. Yes, good. And he's saying he's eating, so we're going to have to wait for him to get done. Or assign anybody to do it, but I'm hoping to actually get him the skills. If we can get him working as our broker and as our captain of the guard, hopefully, we can double dip a little bit maybe on our social skills training. Because the appraisal thing, out of the gate, no problem. This moment we start throwing together an appraisal and all the stuff we bring to the depot on one of these runs, better not export rings. Mayor's got a thing for rings. It's possible he'll go from make me some rings to don't export any rings, and all of a sudden somebody will get punished for that. So we're going to have to see about maybe finding something else. But that shouldn't be a problem. There should be other items we can quickly sell off here, no problem. Rose gold, steel, and bronze, and silver, and bilan, and pewters of a couple types, and iron, and tin. Yes, tin. And bismuth bronze, making that whole get the tin process moot. Oi. Aluminum and sterling silver and nickel. Hey, would you like to make some aluminum coins and then turn around and use those aluminum coins to make more aluminum and make some aluminum flasks? We can have all our dwarves drinking out of aluminum cans. Think about it. Sterling silver and let's see, zinc and black bronze and electrum. Boy, we are going to be raking in the obscure metals on this pass if we can get all this stuff. It would save us a good deal of materials if we could then turn around and coin duplicate a bunch of these things using our vast labor force. All right, let's get those first. If we can get those, I will consider this a giant win. Now I'll let them take the worn stuff. I want that out of our fortress. Any worn clothing, let them have it. It's to us it's garbage. To them it's valuable. So that's one of those things where I look at that and go, wow, this old worn out dwarven sock is intensely valuable to the humans. It really is. That's not a joke. That's the way it works. Dwarven quality is such that a worn item to them is hugely, hugely valuable to anyone else. That's some lasting quality. What are we up to? So we've just about rolled through his total value. We've got to go on a little further here, make sure we get up to where he will not get all upset and insulted with us because we yeah, probably shouldn't sell the artifact, I'm thinking, yeah? That should be about right. And what do you want? You want a wood crutch, some really expensive clothing that we're not going to sell you if I can avoid it, and some more mugs. Okay, well, you can have the mugs and the crutch, but the trousers are right out, dude. That's just wow, that's rich. Seriously, each one of those silk spider things he wants is like, I don't care about the worn ones, he can have those, but I want to make sure that he's not getting our good quality stuff here. I mean, that one sock is 124 dwarf bucks. No way, bud. No way. You can have the worn stuff. Get that our dude is not particularly gifted in the art of the deal here, but I'm not giving you those silk trousers on top as a sweetener. It's not happening. You're not getting our pigtail trousers as a sweetener. No way. But that's still a rich deal for him, so he'll take it. No problem. Now, that gets us a fat chunk of... Let's make sure we didn't sell any rings to this guy real quick. Oh, see, there's one there. We want to make sure we pull those back out. Any rings we sell, we want to make sure we pull back out, because if the mayor decides to put a ban on export of rings after we've sold them, they will leave the map after the mandate is in place, and someone will get punished, and it won't be a light punishment. They'll get the nasty punishments. We don't want that, so that's got to come back out. We'll trade them something else, anything else. I'll give them a giant silk spider item to get it back at that point. So it's important that we don't sell the rings in general, because we'll then have to buy them all back, but it's also valuable that we get the ones that we did sell away from him. There, that's more than rich enough. He'll give us that, no problem. Okay, good. Now, let's look and see if he's got anything else. Animals, yeah, there we go. Look at all these animals he brought us. Yummy, yummy, tasty. Yeah, so there's $3,000 worth of animals, no problem. Now, we've been doing all this trade off of what are relatively minimal value items. Rock crafts, which is about as low down the scale of value as you can get. Selling your seeds, I suppose, would be just about the lowest. You know, your your raw plants without actually making them into meals. But let's do a little turnover in our fortress here. We've got this stuff, right? Let me go ahead and buy what we can here with the mugs and the bracelets, and then let's put a few prepared meals on the auction block, and I'll demonstrate that while I do this, in a lot of cases it's mostly just to clear stone and give your dwarves a creative outlet. Long term, we want them to be able to make coins or something else that gives them a creative outlet, but initially we want them to get the ability to claim jewelry, for example. Dwarves are made happy if they have the opportunity to claim items. That basically means clothing and jewelry, and if they look better and they feel better. So periodically they want to be able to go down to the depot and pick something out and put it in their bedroom. So we need to get a bedroom together so they can collect their objects, start their own little private dwarf hordes. That's basically what it's all about, right? For dwarves. Are we still short? Yeah, we're going to be short a bit here. I'm probably going to have to go back and take out some of the animals briefly until we can bring in some more super high value items, but we'll see. Give me a moment here. You know, if I was a smart boy, I could use the surge, but why would I want to do that? And somewhere along the line, somebody ended up with a giant green tree frog bone crown, and that frog bone crown is going right back out the door. We're selling it. And I see a worn robe down there. Let's see if we can... I don't think it'll let us do this. Yeah, I didn't think we could search for X and get the wear markers. Put that in my list of deepest secret desires for DF hack. I want to be able to come into the trade screen and auto mark worn clothing. He may go for that. I'm betting that's not enough to get him to go, though. We'll see. And you don't want anything except those 2 rings I have to take back out of that list. And I'll let him have the other stuff for this other pile of goodies. But I can't let him have the rings. The mayor is really particular about his jewelry, and it won't work otherwise. But that's still a fat deal, and he'll take it. Okay, so now we've traded up, and unfortunately we weren't able to buy a big pile of gems, and that's a shame, but we'll live. This giant pile of metal bars we just picked up is tasty. We are going to be able to make some seriously fat stacks of metal out of all of that. Let's see. Did he have any anvils? Anvils would be nice if he had some. I didn't think he did. No, he's down to just the gems. So we'll hope he doesn't get mugged on the way out, because everybody and their brother will be able to cart off all the gems. Alright, so that's out. Let's get rid of our goods here. Tell the trader we no longer require him, so he moves out, and everybody will pull this stuff in and get it away from predators, we hope. So now we're going to build a bridge over this door. Yeah, the wood bridge is perfectly fine with me. We're just going to do that. Once that's over, we can attach this to a lever and allow our dwarves access out this way if we need to, but we don't ever have to open it again if we don't want to. Gives us all the advantages of having this access port for later without having to deal with the dangers of leaving it open. And if the dwarves get blocked on the process of dragging all these goods back into the depot, or back in from the depot, all that'll happen is they'll just reroute to the new entrance. And our carpenter is apparently busy. What is our carpenter doing, I wonder? He's making wooden bins. Yeah, he's probably going to be a little busy. Let's do this out of something other than wood. It's a shame that the architect got all that skill for nothing, but Unite blocks sound just perfect by me. Let's do it in stone. Actually, we were going to do one other thing, weren't we? We were going to look at prepared meals. Prepared meals. How about I don't know, a few barrels of prepared food. Just some hot meals for the road. Let's bring the trader back with that in mind. Give him a minute to deliver our supply here. And then the question really becomes, what would you like to buy today? Okay. So, we just bought ourselves a big pile of gems. Some will be along momentarily with a bin to collect a big pile of gems and take them downstairs. We can use those gems to make other stuff down the road. It only cost us 500 prepared meals. Net result, we're going to make more prepared meals. That's about it. The lavish meal job here has never really stopped. We've never really hit 1,000. But we probably have animals. Let's double check to see that need butchering. Hey, look, a water buffalo bull. Let's get rid of him. A mule foal. Goodbye. Mule, butcher. Mule, butcher. Mule, butcher. Another water buffalo. A stray horse foal. A yak calf. A baby alpaca. Goodbye. Now, you could wait for these to grow up, of course, but as far as I'm concerned, they're just space in my pasture that could be used by something that's one of my approved animals, if you will. Since pathfinding is kind of an issue in the sense that you don't want... Let's see if we can get a little clearer here. That's better. I hope that's still visible for you guys. Since pathfinding is kind of at a premium, we don't want to just have it handed over for any animal that is to cross our path here. Yeah, look, they're all starving. Not for long. Get them all assigned to this pasture so they're yanked out of their cages, and then someone will be along momentarily to drag them across the room and cut their heads off. Okay, problem solved. And animal production. Splat, splat, and more splat. Now, we do want to kind of keep an eye on the tanning to make sure somebody's doing tanning. Just put tanning jobs all over the place so people get tanning done. Interrupted by giant Kia. Oh, really? That's not good. Giant Kia, bane of the sky. Then we have not one, but 6 of the fuckers. All right. It's a good thing we've got everything kind of indoors because giant Kias love to snatch shit. Your anvils, your bars, your valuable items you may have left behind. At this point, of course, the only valuable items we have on there are gathered up into a bin and already taken back downstairs. Nothing we have is left up here. At least it shouldn't be. I still see people wandering around over here. I see the Kias are trying to snatch shit. They may have grabbed something from us or from them. It's hard to say. He's making his way out. I'm going to get a steal notice here in a minute. See here? They're hovering around looking for shit they can steal. Need to get the bars indoors or the Kias will steal them all. really don't want to store our soap and potash bars down here, but frankly, for right now, I'll take it as long as they move all the bars in here and get them away from the Kias. Before that caravan leaves and its associated guards depart with it. How about that? The noble imposed a ban. What's he banned? Export of rings. How about that? Look at that, boys and girls, and look at that. He tried to set us up a trap that would get a peasant punished. Look at that petty little bastard go. All right. Predicted it, though. We're good. Covered for that eventuality. If we can just get our bars moved downstairs. You want to be allowed to stay as a bard. Goodbye. Wouldn't grant a monster hunter's petition, but I'd be more likely to grant that than the other. At least the monster hunter might actually defend the fortress. It's going to be tough to order that bard up top. See, they fly away and then they'll fly back in. I can't go up too much higher. I won't see the depot. They're circling around looking for things they can swipe, and they know there's stuff in the depot. Yeah, I really want that job done. Really, really want that job done soon. Get a few of those bars indoors. Here comes a Kia. Here comes another one. They're going to hover around till they get something. Or until they're brought down. We don't really have any crossbows up there to hunt them with. I think we set up bolts, didn't we? Wait, we didn't. We need to do that. I believe that will get it done. Let me double check and see if make sure they do that job. Kinda wish those guys had brought a crossbowman with them, but what are you gonna do? Each one is going to swoop in, snag one object of value, and take off and go, haha, I stole your shit. There's not much we're going to do about it. Our dwarves are not going to fight a giant Kia. Not in hand-to-hand. See, there's one. He got his stuff. He's on his way out. Oh, maybe he didn't. I could try stationing dogs here. It might work. I don't think this will help all that much, but it might. I think they're probably already going to have grabbed a couple of things before we get the dogs over there, but we'll see. Well, I kind of expected them to grab more than they have. I don't want to jinx it, but... Well, all the bars are getting tasked, so if they wait too much longer, there's not going to be anything valuable left in there to grab. Every time a dwarf gets in, another bar disappears. It'd be nice if they had a bar block bid, but we didn't get that far ahead. So far, though, they're trying, though. They're coming at it from all sides. Giant Kias, the adapt, improvise, overcome of giant sky thieves. Still getting tasking done. Come on, guys. Get them all. As long as they get at least one of the really valuable ones. I don't care if they get them all. As long as they get one of the really valuable ones. Like, you don't want to lose both the aluminum bars or both the bismuth bronze bars we bought. Or we have one bar, we can start the cycle. That's all I really need. But to get both of them, I gotta wait for another bar to be delivered. That could take a while. So let's look at our ores here for a moment. Plenty of iron. We've got 100 iron ores laying around. A little tetrahedrite here. Some native aluminum. Not much else at the moment. Gold nuggets, of course, but I was hoping for maybe some sphalerite or something I might make some lightweight bins out of, but no, those aren't really good choices for any of that. Okay. Bring the bars, boys. Bring them all. Down to the last few bars. And then they can grab the fire clay if they really want it. I seem to remember Kias being much more aggressive about their grabbing than this. Not sure why. As in, would happily fly directly into the middle of a guarded wagon, grab something, and fly back out again, laughing the whole way. Oh, you had dogs? I don't care. I'm carrying your anvil away. Watch this. Didn't even have to be a giant Kia. Okay, probably need to tell him to make some more wooden bins because we're not getting them made fast enough. Let's see, did we turn off wood stockpiling? I'll bet we did. Let's get ourselves wheelbarrowed up here in settings. Yes, we did. We disabled this because we were having problems with everybody coming along going, ooh, we look carry all the wood in the fortress right now, when we had other things for them to be doing at the time. Okay, now that gives everybody a privilege to go rampaging out across the volcano and grab our wood. And we've got to cut ourselves a nice little fire break here in case Smaug comes through. No, the reality is if we cut these logs here, we may get some of them pulled in as well. Got a couple dogs hanging around our temporary depot here that we really need to disassemble now so nobody uses it any further. Yeah, we can just go ahead and get rid of that bad boy because they can use the depot down in the entry corridor now. We have that. Let's get that. So there's two things we need to do to make this entrance a little more safe. First off, we need to get the cobalt or the blue bridge. Cobaltite, I thought I made it out of. Yeah. Can we get this bridge linked to a lever so we can retreat, we can retract it and sever access to the surface. But in order to make sure that nothing flying can get in, we also need to be able to make this tunnel sealed. So we'll need a little drawbridge right here. It won't be very big, just big enough to close this door. And then that prevents anybody from getting in. Then then we'll need to set up a drawbridge back here so that we can lower the outer drawbridge, extend the bridge, and let the merchants out while keeping our dwarves locked in and safe from any intrusion. And we'll just confuse ourselves later by making 3 of these cobalt-type bridges. Ha ha ha. No, I just like the blue. It's kind of pretty. So we're going to use it. In earlier tile sets, it would have been a nice darker blue, but this looks kind of like microcline, but not quite so bright. So it'll take our guys a minute to get all these bridges all set up, linked, designed, architected, constructed. And as soon as they get that bridge linked up, we'll open it so that people can come in the back door and deliver the wood without all this long transit time. With this bridge open, people should start emerging here to get their wood and deliver it, rather than going the long way around through the depot entry. Now, this isn't long-term safe, but it's the fastest way to get a large quantity of wood into the fortress in a hurry. And we'll start delivering the wood far faster, I think, than our carpenter can use it at the present moment. And they prepared a bunch of meals, and hey look, we're back to 800 meals again. Prepared meals is probably the easiest category to export. You're going to produce them by the ton if you have any capability to produce food in your fortress whatsoever. Let's go back up here to our entrance, and we'll exemplify that for a moment. There we go. Get a nice abundance of plants to be picked. And then a lot of bamboo. So in addition to hauling, we'll haul in a bunch of random plants that will probably be made into meals. The limit on meal production is really just down to how fast you can turn over the ingredients. Now we see the wheelbarrows coming into play, so less slowness. Where is he taking that and why? Oh, he's gathering them all up. There we go. That works. He's carrying a bin full of bars, which is why he's so slow. Okay, I can deal with that. He scooped up the last of the bars and took them downstairs. Very briefly, while we disassemble this temporary depot, we need to have our haulers doing carpentry so that somebody will get the labor to come along and actually pick this sucker up and get rid of it. Once it's gone, we'll delete this pasture space that's over here that's got these dogs guarding the depot. There we go. So once it's disassembled, there'll be a few more logs for them to pick up, so that's all good. There we go. Now we can get rid of those. Now we can get rid of this. And since that's gone, now we can take the dogs and put them back in the main pasture space right next to the area here. And that'll get the dogs taken back downstairs where they belong. Okay, and we'll get all those bridges linked up so we can seal our doors off properly in future. No more Ettins eaten in. Okay, and those need to be populated. Hey, we found a helix. You want to entertain people? Goodbye. You want to entertain people? Goodbye. Okay, cool. Problem solved. We're not ready to have people entertaining yet. Nope, nope. Need a fortress that we can actually defend first. Need a fortress that can store some scholarly works and have a proper temple. And hey, is this stuff even up to proper final guild hall level yet? Probably not. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, temple complex. Nice, nice temple complex on all these already. Nice. 10 grand across the board. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so written copies of all the goodies. Let's see. Tavern. Goblets and desired. Let's see. Put 200 goblets in here. Oh, gotta set all the instruments here. And we'll see if that works properly or not later, but that's cool. Got it for now. We're good. They'll move in a bunch more mugs. Let's throw in some more storage room here for additional instruments and what all. That still won't block up anybody's giant dance floor down here that we still need to clear up. Tables and traction benches galore. Okay, so we do need a bed for all of these. For our captain of the guard and our mayor, who have been abundantly patient at this point with our, let's call it, lackadaisical attitude towards providing their necessities, shall we? Armor stand here, and weapon rack there. And we'll put the mayor on the right, and we'll assume he needs to have a slightly grander place of his own here, so his office will have a nice weapon rack and an armor stand behind him. And then tables and chair. Turn planning mode on for future. And then he's got his bedroom and this, and now needs a dining room. Tables. I'm planning mode on already, so we just go, oops, wrong place. I thought it was up there. Here, here, and here, here. There. Put chairs in front of them all, and he'll have himself a nice dining room. He'll need a couple of cabinets. Oops, cabinets. Turn planning mode on for that. Put a cabinet here and a cabinet there, and 2 cabinets in his dining room. We can do this kind of the same thing over here. Cabinets everywhere. And a couple of boxes, because everybody needs boxes to store their shit in. Okay. And that should get a bunch of flurry of furniture deliveries going as soon as the furniture is available to be delivered. Put in some doors the same way, again using planning mode to tell our dwarves where to put them in. Thank you, DF Hack. Oops, door there, here and here, there and there, and right at the door to our antechamber here. May put a statue in there or something else, we'll see. Oh, and I gotta get rid of that extra table that noble is not going to require right there. Alright, now we're down to just waiting for them to get their stuff delivered. And built if they don't have it on hand. Uh-oh, a siege. Unfortunately for them, we now have doors. Okay, so here's what I think I'm going to do. Tomorrow is a holiday for me, guys. So I think what I'm going to do is break off a little early tonight and get a little extra sleep. And we'll come on a little early tomorrow evening. Um, maybe even do something during the day. We'll see. Something extra, maybe. I have to think about it. I think I'd like to take off a little early tonight. I'm starting to feel a little tired. And I still think we're probably well above our 3 hour limit at this point, even if I do. So, let's see who's out there to sick you maniacs upon. And when we get back tomorrow, we'll deal with our siege by buttoning up the doors and looking to get a deep or a proper barracks trained military and schedule running. That'll give us something to do to kick things off. We'll still need our offices to be delivered, and let's see, have to get our bedrooms up as well. Hang on just a second here, guys. Let's see who we can release the hounds upon, as it were. Oh, let's see here. Have fun, guys.